Okay, well, hello again, friends. You find me here with the resuming from the autosave, just because I didn't want to go through everything else. So, firstly, my apologies. It was an OpenGL driver issue with an error code of 8, which seems to have been hanging around for a long time. I think it may have had something to do with YouTube being open in a browser. And if that's the case, it's a bit of a pain. So I am trying to run the stream and chat via an iPad. I don't think it works particularly well in YouTube Studio in the app, which really is not very good because it means I have to do it in the browser, and hopefully that's okay and works. Chat might be an issue. I don't know. I want to use charts on there as well, so hopefully it will just run happily in the background while I do that. So I will connect to VATSIM once we have departed, but what I wanted to do was get back on without the lengthy startup. So, without further ado, let's...
Approaching 1-8.
I do need to figure something out for head shake. Anyway, this is where we were.
1-8 flaps.
Time is correct. And I have changed the aspect ratio. Frames are terrible and it's the GPU, so let's stop here, back to high performance. There we go, that's sorted that out. And hopefully the view is a bit better for you. If it works, I will keep it 16:9. If it doesn't, tell me and I'll switch back next stream. I can't do it on the fly though. Anyway, so head shake is all well and good. I'm not convinced I quite like the animations, so let's just for the time being turn head shake off. And 174 for departure. Set that. Let's get going, and then we will join VATSIM in the air. Let's check that Volanta is running, which it is. Days. So one great thing about Hotstart is the ability to save those flights, and it's an autosave as well. 80 knots. F1 hold. There's V1. There's rotate. There's me being twitchy. Nothing.
After takeoff checklist. Landing gear.
Maybe it's just the ground effect. Maybe it really isn't me.
Up. Flaps. 0. Thruster reserves.
It's going to do that.
Off. Ignition. Off. Pressurization. Checked. Pax transition. Completed. N1. Climb set. APU generator. Off. APU. Shutdown. Passenger sides.
We'll leave one.
CAS.
Checked.
After takeoff checklist complete.
We got given a 110, didn't we? So let's continue that. Excuse me. And it's 2:20 until red, so let's take that acceleration. Great weather transition there. So, I think we can give, excuse me, a little bit more climb rate. Really steep rate of climb, to be honest. Frames are holding at 30, you won't be able to see that anymore. And what I will do is increase speed, but vertical speed as well. No, we've out captured that, so go up to something like 230, wasn't it? 270. Cabin is pressurizing. Big flight level change at 300. Still see that the rate of climb is phenomenal. You'll excuse me for not knowing anything about what's going on in chat because I see it. The next step climb is OLBEN. And the expected arrival QNH 1038. So I've got Cal anti-ice on, which I'm leave on. Oh, no flight plan on the server, just... So, I've got to go on to SimBrief, and then do that. Which I can't do. Bad. Oh, the level of grief just keeps on giving. Anyway, passing 200, check pressurization, delta P 6.8, cabin's climbing at 600, 2,400. Now zipping along merrily. So let's see if I can do it from my phone. Don't even know what that says. Anyway, we're over at ANEKI. Yeah, cruise soon enough. Call sign in use. Great. So now it's not logged back on. Flight plan, fetch, filed. Times will be wrong, but I don't care. And we're in clear air, so come off. Says that somebody's watching, although that might be me watching through the iPad, I suppose. Unless doing it this way doesn't work. No, it says it does. It says we're still live, so I assume once I've set that up and running, it works. Anyway, altitude alert checked. We're not going to get much more out of the jet, are we? 300. I was actually hoping to try and make this a 2-sector day. Of course, that did not materialise. So I thought there would be some of France online. Even at performance, it's quite good. It's 7.6. I suppose we can cope with that for the time being, can't we, as a cruise? And I mean, thanks go to Hotstar really for even having the ability to do that resume. Makes a massive, massive difference. I certainly wouldn't have bothered flying it today if I couldn't have done that. So, myself, open to 310. Really then send. Okay, maybe we are. Maybe I don't need to bother with that. Arrivals wise, yes, we've got the full arrival in. And the one Papa takes us. Governor Pirov. That takes us all the way around. We can do the ILS Zulu for one. Pirov. Took those legs. So with that in mind, is there any good climb? 60 miles, yes, I suppose there is actually. So set 310. Off at minimums 3A. Yay. Of course, no, the graph's being slow as well. Minimums. Oh, jeez. Climb gradients. So 2.5 is standard. Sure, we'll be able to manage better. Oh, but it goes up to 8. The mod that I didn't execute. Oh. Okay, so we need the weather. So 1400 Zulu auto variable at 2, 7,000 meters visibility, overcast 1,000, 2, -1, 5. May actually not be equal. So the real question for us is, so that's single engine 1592. Right, so we need firstly to vertical speed, climb the aeroplane. So, figuring out climb gradients, ground speed. So, VREF, VAC, 6. Or 6 would put us, if we can do 8%. If I go with 2.5, that's really high. It's feet per nautical mile. Oh, we're going to be descending pretty quick, aren't we? just maintain 7-8 until that top of descent. So if we need an 8% climb gradient, actually what can we measure? 1592, no, so actually it's approach single engine, isn't it? 800 and 46 and 800 gets us about 5.5%. Gives us 1779. A single engine. So refs. Gonna take a while to dial up. So why don't I just try and look here? Spoils the immersion a bit. 1779, 1780, 1,000 feet should just about do it. Did I manage to miss top of descent again? VNAV baffles me a little bit on this aeroplane. So we've got all the transitions. Okay, there's the NOS. Yeah, flight level 100, so let's just add in.
Descent checklist. Shoulder harness. Passenger signs. Pressurization. Fuel quantity and balance.
Balance.
Landing data charts. Approach briefing. VNAV transition flight level.
Ah, well I haven't done that, never mind.
Descent checklist complete. In range checklist next.
Oh, okay. Well, the scenery is pretty good, even though we haven't seen much of it. The CPU is still taking a hammering, despite turning as much off as I can. I don't know, it seems it's relatively consistent. Not perfect though. So once we get to SPR 80, I'm sure if we go over SPR. How high should we be? Lutex. Okay. Well, there is VNav. It just shows how quickly you can get back onto the path. That's because we should have changed over. There we go. Back to 300. So, I'm not sure why that changeover isn't automatic. Let me just see what the transition level is by ATC 6.5. Just call it 80. And I'm dense enough that I can't even remember how to do it. Okay, well it's not the end of the world. So what we really want is terrain. Weather's on the other side. So here we are at Nemos. Pretty long arrival just because we're going around the houses. And I think if you look, that's where we're headed. Right there. Oh, hello. Cloud out of nowhere. that's quite nice the way it fades through. Not perfect, but pretty good. There's VNAV coming back in. Here we are over Nemos. In which case I have absolutely no idea where we're going. Oh, okay, it's just because the routes in were a little bit strange. We will get to the correct place at some point. .30 frames per second. VNAV path has just captured. And then 1095, 175. Now that's a nice view. Definitely worth doing in the daytime. So, actually, let's just go direct GVA. Thought something was off. There we go, VNAV setup. So, just try something like that, shall we? So, David P, hello. I apologise for not seeing you in the chat. Thanks for joining. Like I say, I've got it running on the iPad. I've got charts and everything running off of to hopefully mitigate against this stupid crashing. Incredibly irritating. And I think displays are a little bit. So, let's grab these and redo it. Yes, they are. Oh, great, wrong one. Right. So unprofessional. So they snap in well. Then I just have to get rid of the border. Very unprofessional. That wouldn't matter, you wouldn't see that if I didn't have to just record the display, because having X-Plane running in so many open windows, I haven't quite figured out how to just record the single window, which is a real shame. So I hope this is all still running okay. Definitely no pro streamer, so I do apologise. But what I do hope is that this gives people a bit of an insight into, well, A, the difficulties that X-Plane can have with stability sometimes, and sometimes, and hopefully give you an idea of whether or not you want to purchase this very, very expensive add-on, which I think so far, hopefully you'll have seen me trying to hoof it around the sky. That is well and truly. Certainly I think so. And I would recommend that if you do have the cash, it is worth getting. I just wish, like I say about frame rates, if it was a solid 30, I'd be more than happy. It's the fact that whatever happens, my X-Plane, it's a little bit of a killer. We are overhead Geneva, and then SALEV's coming up. And I just wish I could nail that, really. But I tell you what you can't beat is this Ortho. So GPU not working hard, CPU still doing okay. But look at that for a view. Enhanced Skyscapes really does with the haze. Looks pretty good. Oh, okay. Now we're too high. So let's go a little bit further. Select 1500 and see if we can get profile. I assume that was a thumbs up from you, David, so that's pretty much. I'll give it a thumbs up just yet. But look at the scenery, it's well worth doing this in the daytime. And you can see on the navigation display, or at least I hope you can, that we are actually going around the houses. Get in here. There is a straight in, but I didn't want to push my luck too far. So I'm not going to keep an eye on chat just because I'm having a look at the charts. And I just want to check we've got 403. It's going to slow down quite early. It is angle, standard 3, 4.46, so steep but not spectacularly. can see the glide slope and ghost pointers coming in. So SALEV, Pinot, and then 6.5 is out, which does indeed check out. So time to start bringing the speed back, I reckon. And that looks pretty spectacular, even if the textures on those mountains are sketchy. Look at those views. Shame about some of the clouds on the Ortho, but what can you do? How have we ended up too high? Something just started crawling a bit there. Let's double check the weather. Variable 3, 8,000 meters, overcast 2, 1035 still.
In range checklist. APU. Started. Altimeters.
Oh, this one irritates me.
Reset, cross-checked. Avionics.
Suitable.
External lights. On. N1 target.
Ooh, do I need to slow? It's 210. So let's bring that back to 200.
Set.
So it's all between. Let's try something like that. What was the next check? Oh, ignition.
APU PAX transition. Avail completed. APU generator. On. CAS. In range checklist complete. Before landing checklist next.
Look at this for some scenery. It's stuttery, but Frames are still pretty solid. So the aerodrome elevation is only 1,000. We do have some terrain around here underneath. VNAV seems a little bit all over. So Pirov at 6.5. Quite going to make that, are we? So I'm back. Chopray traffic, prefect 99, overhead Governor, altitude 8,000 feet, positioning inbound ILS runway 18, traffic. That's looking quite nice. Shame about all the trees sort of popping in and out of view. Now VS should kick in. So let's see what it does. Glide slopes all over the place. I think that's modelling the appearance. At 6.5, so we are going to be level for quite a while, and then the next one is 5. Wow, there is some interesting terrain ahead of us. The Chambray VOR should be up here on this hill, I think. There it is. Isn't that crazy? VOR on the top of a hill. It's not a hill, it's a mountain. That is 5,018 feet. So we're going to be descending to 5. It's 185, so we're going to have to bring the speed back. So Pirov 210, max 185, so we'll come up to 80. Nose comes down quite quick, doesn't it? Pretty close to this terrain. VFRO would have no problem. Wow. Just look at it. Well, this was worth coming back for, wasn't it? So, how much do we need? 1096, final reserve and alternate. There we go, 185 or below. That's at 6, 5. Personally,
Top Swiss 257 located west.
and descent to start, and I'm going to approach. Just pre-selected. Again, smooth that intercept. The missed approach straight ahead, climbing left hand to 160 to the NDB, 6.5. There we go. So, fly slope capture.
traffic, Belgium 25 holding short, runway
2500.
Arriving traffic for Geneva, are you
2500.
Okay, thank you. I'm taking.
So, Charlie Yankee, tuned, identified 7.5 miles. Quite well. At 160. So 127. No overcast here, which is good because of the scenery. Still got 31 frames. I wish it was like this all the time. Gear down.
2500.
Before landing checklist. Landing gear lever. Down indicating. No steer. Arm centered clear. Anti-skid.
May we have your attention, please?
Hard
We're
test.
approaching our destination
Passenger
and
signs.
will be landing in a few minutes.
On. Wing
Please place
cowl
all storage
anti-ice.
compartments and tables in their fully stowed position.
Continuous ignition.
All portable electronic devices must be
On.
turned off.
Thrust reversers.
Ensure that your seats are fully upright
Armed.
and that all
Spoilers.
receptacles are stowed.
Stowed
And
auto.
observe the seat
Flaps.
belt and no smoking signs when they
Set.
appear.
CAS. Before landing checklist complete. After landing checklist next.
John Bray traffic, Prefect 99, ILS 183 miles. So there should be a little helicopter out here somewhere.
Approaching minimums.
Just see him there.
1000. Minimums.
So it's a pretty steep approach.
Approaching 1-8.
See, the airplane's very powerful.
500. $100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Bit floaty. Come on down.
Long landing, 1,200 meters remaining.
So reverse is deployed, as well as spoilers. The brakes are pretty effective. We'll watch the replay because I think it was better than that. And that was probably the nicest one I've done so far.
After landing checklist. Landing pulse recog lights. Off. Anti-collision lights. Off. Continuous ignition. Off. Windshield heat. Off. Probes. Off. Wing anti-ice. Off. Cowl anti-ice. Spoilers.
Stowed.
Stowed. Flaps. 0.
Up.
ATC TCAS. Alt on. Radar mode. Standby. After landing checklist complete. Engine shutdown checklist next.
So we're going to continue up here. The business terminal is a lot further up where Charlie is. Welcome to Chambray. Red, hello. Sorry, only just looked at the chat. So I think the business terminal should be up here. So I'm just going to start slowing us down. November 1, closed taxiway. Yes, that matches the chart. So this is stand 1. We're going to go up to the main apron terminal that's up over here. And we'll look at some of this wonderful scenery. And the frames that are pretty steady at 30, which I could live with. So see sort of the stands start at 12, they get a bit closer, maybe on the right or left. So, let us think about how we might park on some of these so that we can self. Guess we can come in this way. Maybe not. This does not seem ideal to me. I suppose as long as you are past that line, it shouldn't matter. So. Self-maneuver to stand to 8, shall we? The jet is quite small. This may not work. Hey, that's not bad. Okay, the nose is a little bit far forward. I'm not quite sure what else you would do here. If we stuck ourselves in any other way, it would just be a bit of a mess. Oh well.
Engine shutdown checklist. Taxi lights. Off. Parking brake.
Set.
Set. Reverse thrust. Stowed. Generators 1 and 2. Off. Engine 2 shut down. Fuel boost pumps. Off. Fuel system.
Wait to see. Yes.
Engine 1 shut down. Check ITT below 350 degrees Celsius.
Confirmed.
Anti-ice, off. 14th stage. Off. Beacon. Off. No steer. Off. ATC TCAS. Parking brake if chalked.
Okay, I'm going to leave it set and then we'll take it off in a moment.
Passenger signs. Off. Cabin differential. 0 psi. Engine shutdown checklist complete. Securing checklist next.
Good. So, let's get the chocks put in. Passengers leave when we tell them to.
May we have your attention, please? For your own safety, please stay seated and keep your seatbelt on until the seatbelt sign turns off. Smoking is not allowed at this time. Thank you.
Surely smoking is never allowed. So, we should have chocks. They are in. So, what we should have done was call up.
Hot Start Flight Support, Jenny speaking. How can we help? Of course, I'll have that over with you in a minute or two. Anything else?
No.
Always a pleasure. Take care.
So you've got to do that on the sat phone in the air. So while we're waiting for the limo, let's go put all the pins in. How will that affect the replay? I guess we'll find out. So the chocks are definitely in. No, I'm pretty sure it should take all these off. And we've got a night here before we do something interesting tomorrow, hopefully. Is that limo? We can tell from service status. So they do actually get off the aeroplane. It's quite cool. I thought the limo turned up for them. I could be wrong. There's that cloud coming in.
Our ride is here. Thank you, Captain. Always such a pleasure flying with you. Have a nice rest of your day.
Excellent. So it does work. We've just got to get into the habit of doing all these triggers. There is a lot to do. Thanks, Red. Is this the default scenery? No. So yes, the airport is default. But what we have is Ortho and X-Europe. So that will determine tree position, stuff like that. We'll have a look at the replay in a moment. Once they get out, hopefully that will. Don't know if that's going to make a difference to the chocks, but we definitely had them set last time. So that should drive away. And this is what is it. Not only is it a challenge to get your head around flying the aeroplane, but all the additional stuff. There we go, though, driving away. Perfect.
Secure and checklist. Emergency lights.
Geneva traffic up to Street 5 Hotel Gold.
AC DC utility switch.
Well, that can come off.
Headsets. Thrust reversers. Chocks.
They were in, and we can check.
Parking brake.
Off.
Hydraulic pumps. Nav lights, logo light.
I say I like the nav light on, but that's just me.
APU generator.
So that will come off in a moment.
APU start stop.
So that.
Packs. LCV 10th stage isolation valve. APU power fuel.
So that.
ICAS APU gauge. Battery master. Cockpit refuel panel. Service lights. Pins and covers. Securing checklist complete.
There we go. Secure aeroplane. Let's get rid of that menu. And let's have a look at the replay, shall we? Atlanta says stats touchdown 158. Was it that bad? I don't know. Get rid of Atlanta and have a look at the replay, shall we? Oh, that's disconnected me off VATSIM, which is good. Yeah, that'll do. As you can see, pretty steep approach, not the steepest. The weather is current rather than recent, which is interesting. I think there are no sounds. Wow, that was really floaty. Have a look at that again, shall we? Just seems twitchy. So the experimental flight mode comes on automatically. It seems twitchy when we take off, and it seems twitchy near the ground. And I'm pretty convinced that it isn't necessarily just me. I don't think it was terrible. Take that. Certainly one of the better ones so far. It will get better. And I didn't really stand on the brakes even after that long landing. The runway length here is 6,000 feet, 2020, so should have been able to stop very much sooner than that. If you get heavily on the brakes and reverse, etc. But that was just idle reverse and relatively gentle braking just to make the exit. So thanks for watching. I do apologise for the disaster that was this morning. I hope you have enjoyed the remainder of the flight. Let's turn the replay off, and yeah, let's have a look. Now that clouds come over, we were lucky. Yeah, it's well and truly worth getting Ortho for this. Ex-Europe will do the rest of the scenery. It's not very dense. This is not on the lowest, but one notch up from the lowest. Ex-Europe does the roads, but you can see that the overlays onto the Ortho make it that much better. The trees are not fantastic. I had HD forests on. I think that might be causing issues, so I've turned it off. And this would be populated with a lot more buildings if the settings were higher. And I think that looks like Ortho to me, with boats and ripples and stuff. But yeah, that's it. So tomorrow we will not here. I don't know if we'll be heading straight back or somewhere else. But all I can say for now is thanks for watching. Get the airplane shut up. And see that it is definitely chocked. Going to shock it again to be sure. And I hope that the nose wheel will be nice and straight with no disaster. Because I don't think I've done anything wrong. And if it's just a case of recycling it, so be it. But that's where we are. That's where I should have stopped. And maybe get pushed back a bit. No, we won't. So the easy way to close the door is to use the handle from the outside. Obviously, you can't do that in real life. You just push it shut. There's the airplane put to bed. So head over to the FBO. And that's us done.
Welcome to Hot Start Flight Support.
You can see that there's nothing else that we need to do. So we can put it to bed. Thanks very much for watching, guys. See you again soon. Bye for now.